Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is Zephyr Chung with Iris Diecast, and today I'd like to review this 2018 Anson Lamborghini Miura P400 SV. Now, like many collectors, I have many Lamborghini models in my collection. I have an Aventador, two Murcielagos, three Gallardos, two Diablos, and more. And however, to this day, I still don't have a Lamborghini Miura. So I have been looking forward to having this Miura for quite a while now, and when I saw this Anson version with a box and in a mint shape on sale for $60, I thought I might as well go for it. This is my first Anson, and there isn't really all that much information about the brand Anson and on the internet, so I think it's one of the budget brands, but we'll see further on in the video. So, the Lamborghini Miura. If you're a car fan, it's kind of hard to not know about this car. It's a V12 pure sports car by Lamborghini from 1966 to 1973. It's also the first ever V12 production midship vehicle. The name Miura comes from Dan Antonio Miura, who raised many popular fighting bulls like the Isolero, the Gallardo, and the Murcielago, and was named by the founder Ferruccio Lamborghini himself. Fun fact about the Miura: the Lamborghini's founder Ferruccio Lamborghini preferred GT sports cars like the 350 GT and the 400 GT over the pure sports cars like the Miura. So actually, the Miura was a project that Lamborghini technicians were secretly working on. However, after the project was finished, Ferruccio thought this car would help market the brand and allow the production of the car. So here is the front of the model. One of the reasons why the Miura gained huge popularity is because of its amazing design. The designer Marcello Gondini was in his early 20s when he designed this car. So he was young and inexperienced. He didn't know anything about the basic designing of cars or ergonomically efficient aspects. However, this also meant that he could design a car that wasn't bound to these traditional design formulas. And as a result, the public saw a new, beautiful type of design. And here are the headlamps of the vehicles. It's well made. You have the little texture on the plastic covers, and they got the black bulb in the center. I think the pegs are the two little holes on the side, so you can tell that they definitely tried to hide the pegs. And the air intakes in the middle of the hood are blocked, meaning that they use plastic for it instead of mesh. These are quite difficult to clean when they get dirty, so I'm planning on keeping this car in the original packaging. They used chrome. They use chrome for the window edges and the wipers, and the grills down here are also blocked. They just use plastic for it, and they've used gets blurry. They've used plastic clear parts for the lamps down here, albeit with pegs inside them. The Miura is a midship supercar, meaning that the engine is behind the seats, so there isn't an engine up front. And modern midship sports cars use the front as a cargo space, but there isn't one for the Miura. There is just a spare tire in here. And the tire is not real, it's plastic. I mean, a little bit disappointed by that. Most of my cars that have a spare tire, if not all, uses a real spare tire. You know, they use the same tire and rims that are on the axles. But Anson just made it in plastic, which is a bit weird. And onto the side, being an older budget model, this car has quite large opening parts gap. It's pretty distinctive over here between the hood and the body, and back here with the engine bay and the body. It's a little bit just explicit. It's a really cool car. There's no denying that. And but the earlier P400 models had lots of problems since they were made by young and inexperienced engineers who secretly developed this car. One of the biggest flaws were the lousy aerodynamics and the fact that they placed the fuel tank up front. So as the car consumed fuel, the front end grew lighter, so the car would get really unstable at high speeds. Obviously, cornering is a real challenge in this situation, so the Miura was a very dangerous car to drive at high speeds. Also, there were reports of the car catching on fire because the fuel would inject onto the hot engine cover. Besides that, the interior was cramped for even two people. The rear was too heavy because of the V12 engine weight, worsened by the fact that the fuel tank was up front. And it had lousy cooling and heat protection features to drive as a daily car. I mean, it was a rough car even for the 60s, but the car is still regarded as a legend due to its sensational design and performance. And here are the rims. It's painted in this yellowish gold color. The tires also have the Pirelli name on them. One of the reasons I bought the Anson version instead of the better detailed and cheaper Barago is because of this two-tone color paint. As you can see, the lower part of the car is painted in the same gold color as the wheels, and I thought that looked pretty cool. There is a Bertone logo here because Bertone is a design company that Gandini worked back then. Now, one little bit weird thing I found was how the lower part of the window edges is finished in chrome, but the higher part of the window edges is just painted on. So that's pretty weird. And they've painted the black thingy over here, and the door handles use a chrome part, and you can see that they even painted a tiny keyhole over here. And like many older cars, the Miura only has the side mirror in the driver's side. And here is the interior. Like many older models, the doors open outward, which means that the door hinges are exposed explicitly. The door opening angle is pretty decent. You can get a pretty good look inside the interior. The interior detail itself is pretty decent. I mean, this is a 60s car, so there isn't really much to see in there. But I was pretty impressed by the center control panel. The little buttons and the things on there were pretty well detailed. And here's the view from the passenger side. The seats are in a tan beige color with black accents. I think that's a pretty good color combination. It gives a premium, welcoming look to the car, and yet has some emphasis to it with the black accents. The beige paint is a little bit thick on the seats. It gives away instant that this is painted, as you can see. Here is the rear end of the model. I really like the Miura handwriting on the car. It's really unique. I think it goes along well with the classic cars. The rear is well detailed and at the same time shows the limit of a budget model. I mean, they did paint the headlamp edges. It's blurry. Black. And they used a plastic part for the trunk hole instead of just painting it on, so they definitely did put some effort into it. But at the same time, the grills down here are blocked. They just put a piece of plastic on it and it looks very cheap. The rear lamps do have pegs inside them, but it's not too noticeable because they put it in the colored areas. It's actually here and here. The rear lamps look a little bit too big in terms of scale accuracy, but model car companies do this often to emphasize the car's volume. And here is the engine bay. The Miura P400 SV runs on a 3.9 liter V12 producing 385 horsepower. Despite being a midship sports car, the Miura's engine is placed horizontally. Usually when car companies put an engine with 8 or more cylinders in a midship car, they place it vertically because of the engine's length. Horizontal midship layout is used on cars with smaller engines like the NSX or the MR2, so that's pretty unique. The P400 Miura achieved the world's fastest production car record with a top speed of 275 kilometers per hour. And after Ferrari took that record with the 365, the P400S retook the title with a top speed of 288 kilometers per hour. And this P400SV renewed that record with the top speed of 290 kilometers per hour until its successor, the Countach, took that record. So the Miura was a really fast car for its time. The engine is actually pretty well detailed. I mean, some Maestro and Barago cars have detailed engine like this, but usually they still look cheap because of their flashy chrome and cheap plastic, but not with this car. Note how cleanly the cylinders are finished in the car. And the engine's frame looks like metal, although it is actually plastic. Although the car does have suspension springs over here, the model itself doesn't offer working suspension. And here is the undercarriage. It's very simple, nothing much to see in there, just the brand name and the car name. So that wraps up my review on the Anson Lamborghini Miura SV. It's a really sweet model. I'm not sure how good the Barago version is, but if they're the same price, I think this one is worth considering. I couldn't pass this one up because of the two-tone paint. The merits of this car is the detailed engine room and interior, and the drawbacks would be the cheap plastic on the grills and the seats and the fake spare tire. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching the video. Like always, if you have enjoyed it, please click like and subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you guys soon in a future video. Thank you.